Hello, welcome to Rewatchers Council, everybody. Guys, they left me in charge of the store today. As you guys well know, founding council member Ferris Muthana been missing in action. Tell you the truth, for quite a while now, and Adelia's gotten worried. So Adelia is off to either A, go find him, or B, do something completely other than that. So, guys, it might be B. So you guys stuck with me to talk you through season 3, episode 2, Dead Man's Party. And if you're gonna get stuck with me, might as well be this episode because actually this episode is not very good. Full disclosure, season 3 probably my favorite season of Buffy. This one is an outlier. And especially it's Marty Noxon who writes it. James Whitmore directs it. The last one they did together was I Only Have Eyes for You, which is considered classic. So this one, I guess they can't all be winners, but this one makes absolutely no cohesive sense at all. There is zero consequences for anything that happens in this episode. It makes no sense that it was even made, but maybe a couple of good parts here and there, enough to think that it's entertaining enough to watch, or maybe even better, just entertaining enough for me to talk about it. So let's get into the actual show here, guys. And guys, I seem a little out of place today. Heads running around and stuff like that. Big winner today. I managed to get Oasis tickets, which I'm very excited about. I know a lot of people don't like Oasis, and for them, I feel sorry for. Telling you the truth. The world needs rock stars, guys. These are the biggest ones. And what else? And then at work, I had to deal with a lady having a psychotic episode, which was fun. And considering where I work, you'd think I'd actually seen and gone through a lot more than that. Nope. First one, pretty interesting stuff. Interesting, to say the least. Speaking of psychotic episodes, though. Hey? All right, let's go to the episode. Its original air date, guys, October 6th, 98. I know it's a day most of you remember very well. Almost 26 years ago, exactly. So there you go. See, it's almost the 26th anniversary of Dead Man's Party, guys. There you go. How about that? Happy birthday, 26. Oh my God. I said it's Marty Noxon wrote it. James Whitmore directed it. Now, the number one movie at this time, Ants. Remember the movie Ants? I think Ants and A Bug's Life were competing. Cartoon movies at the time. This time was Ants. I think that one had Woody Allen and Sly Stallone, if I remember right. I don't know. I never saw it. I was building a movie theater at that time and had the posters up for it. So there you go. That's how I know Ants. The number one song in the United States of your Americas, The First Night by Monica, banger. Love this song. She wants to get down, guys, but not the first night. Let's go to the Canada song Crush by Jennifer Page. Everyone knows that one. It's just a little crush, guys. Now, the number one song in the UK. Okay, so this is now the second episode of the third season we've done. And this number one song, besides Truly, Madly, Deeply, but of the songs that you don't know, this is one of the worst songs I've ever come across as a number one hit. It's from the UK. A song called Roller Coaster by a girl group named Bewitched. Now, Bewitched has an asterisk in one of the E's. I don't know. I have no idea why. It makes no sense, but this song is absolute bubblegum garbage, guys. Garbage! Terrible. Anyways, speaking of terrible, on with the show here. Buffy's back in Sunnydale, guys, and she seems pretty comfortable, at first glance. Now, it's going to turn out that this is happening mere, I won't say moments, but within hours of when she comes back at the end of Anne. She goes to stop by her mom's room. Her mother putting up a mask. A mask she got just brought home from her gallery. Guys, I have a feeling that maybe Joyce Summers is an art counterfeiter. I think she's counterfeiting art. It's like the Thomas Crown affair. This is what she does. This is how they're making a living. They got a pretty big house, for where they live in Southern California, a small town where it's nothing that has everything in it. Anyways, it says the mask is going to brighten up the room. And it's a Nigerian mask or whatever. You guys want to see what this mask looks like? This is going to be the thing that brightens up any room. Oh, yeah. Oh, just look at them. Adorable. You could have like a picture of a puppy, or you could have that on your wall. Now, when she's actually doing, like putting up the mask, she gets startled and just puts her hammer right through the wall. How is, like, if she's putting a nail in the wall, what's it going to say? It's just going to fall down. Guys, that has no structural integrity at all to hold up a mask. It's not the worst thing, carpentry-wise, that's going to happen in this episode. I'm going to tell you that. And first off, I should say hello to Brendan Moore. Well, he says sorry you can join me this episode, but don't worry about it, because you're joining me for the next episode, a much, much better episode. So there you are. Now, Buffy says that she wants to go hang out with Xander and Willow. Joyce says, you think you should? Maybe, maybe you should have a snack or something like that. I guess Joyce has already fed her 3 times and stuff like that. She says, if she don't want me to go, it's fine or whatever. And she says, no, she wants to get everything back to normal, says Joyce. So she says she won't drive her. She can just go out on her own. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Buffy looks way younger for some reason in this episode. I mean, now she's supposed to be, what is she, still just 6? What is she, 16? 17? 17. 17 years old, but she looks younger than she did all of last season, for goodness sakes. Anyways, Buffy's, like Joyce says, yeah, no, it's fine. Get going. So, of course, Buffy's going to go looking for her friends. Why wouldn't she just go down the darkest, blackest alleys that you can find in Sunnydale? So she's walking around. Eventually, she sees a guy with slick black hair in a pea coat, for all things. She runs up on him. He turns around with a stake, and honestly, one of the largest ever crucifixes you'll ever see on a person. I think it's like this big. It's huge. But good news. He stops from staking. Well, she grabs him. Doesn't stake him because, it's Xander. Xander says you shouldn't sneak up on people like that. He says, geez, Buff. Geez, Buff. All right. So, out through the boarded up wall, out comes a little red shirt vamp. They get attacked, and Xander gets knocked to the ground, despite having an enormous crucifix. Now, again, the show will bend its own rules quite a bit. So you would imagine that a crucifix this big on a person would repel a vampire. It doesn't on this one. Anyways, you also hear Cordelia over their walkie-talkies ask if Nighthawk is okay. Nighthawk, guys. Pretty good name. It was the 90s. What do you want? Anyways, Vamp starts attacking again. Anyways, Xander gets spun in the air. He almost gets the upper hand on Buffy when the Scoobies finally show up and pull it off of her. Oz gets kicked down beside Xander. Cordy gets thrown into Buffy. Willow gets thrown into Oz. It's nice for Cordelia to say, "Hey, Buffy," when she didn't say anything mean to her, which is nice. But then Buffy just throws her onto the Scooby pile. Finally stakes the red shirt vampire. Says hi, at least now. So similar to the season 2 beginning, but there's some tension here. You can see. So it doesn't look like everyone is ecstatic to see each other for some reason, but we get to go to the improved credits, guys. Way better. And now they're heading to Giles's place. And they're outside the door, and Santa kind of lets her have it about running off. And this is going to happen a few times. Now, this is a Marty Noxon episode. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this. This episode just reminds me of so much of season 7, and there's so much of season 7 that just is not good. It has Marty Noxon's fingerprints all over it, but I'll also say Marty Noxon has some great episodes, so I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater. How's that for an old term for you guys? Guys, I'm not 26. I might look 26. You know what I mean? But I'm not. Anyways, so Xander thinks that Giles is going to be angry at Buffy, but he opens the door. He's actually quite stoic, welcoming her home. They come in. She just says that she was with her mom first and stuff like that. And he says, of course, what are you going to do? And he asks how she finds her. How do you find your mother? And she says she remembered the address. So it's not a top drawer joke, but it's a fine joke. Like, what do you want from these guys? It's a good joke for Buffy. So, anyways, he decides he's gonna go get the kids some tea. They start going on. Xander's asks if she went to Belgium because Belgium. They all think it's great. Okay, I don't know if I'm trying to put myself in 1998. I'm trying to think, like, did I ever think that was a funny line or a good bit? I don't think I did. But anyways, we see Giles in the kitchen making the tea, finally taking a moment to let it sink in that she's back. He seems very content. Then he goes out with the tea afterwards or whatever. And this time, Oz is telling her that, that murder charge you were up for, just gone. It's just gone. Never mind the eluding. Never mind the assaulting a police officer. At least one. She was shot at by a cop, for God's sakes. And it's like, everything's all good. I have no idea how this happens. But anyways, everything is fine for Buffy. She's not going to be arrested for not murdering her friend, which is nice. Cordy asks if she was living in a box. And I think she was, I don't think she isn't being mean. I think she's just being, curious for Cordelia anyways. Xander tells her to skip the part about saving kindly old people. Giles tells them to head off. Xander tells her that they can take care of slaying until she settles in. Willow's proud of how they were doing. She brags about how they slayed 9 out of 10. Her boyfriend quickly interrupts. It's actually 6 out of 10, which is pretty good. If I got 60% in high school, I wouldn't be stuck in this person's basement. I don't even know who these people are. Anyways, so yes, the Buffy just wants to go back to her old routine. including going back to school. Oops. And she wants some brainless fun here. But the two couples are kind of coupling now. You know, Buffy's turning into a fifth wheel here, guy. Uh, Willow says, "Oh, she'll change some plans for her. She was going to do some school stuff, supposedly." Then Giles informs her she'll have to talk with Snyder before being allowed back in. She says that Joyce is on it here, guy. She'll break him. Joyce is going to break Snyder here. No problem. One problem doesn't happen. He tells him that not only does he have the right to keep her out of school, he has a nearly physical sensation of pleasure at the thought of keeping her out. Again, he's saying this in front of a 17-year-old girl and her mother. I did like the bit about how how she lives up to the not a murderer requirement for enrollment, but she's a troublemaker, and her grade point average and stuff like that. He gets another tingly thing. Joyce now, obviously getting pissed off at him, suggests that Buffy finds a job, and then says that hot dog on a stick is hiring, which is nice. Buffy says, "Okay, we're out of here." So they leave. Joyce tells Snyder that she's going to go all the way to the mayor if she has. This is something that was coming up like last year and stuff like that too. It'll come up with something else later. How much does government interfere in day-to-day student stuff? Like, go to the mayor? What? All right. Anyways, Snyder thinks that would be interesting. So do I, guys. And I can't believe we still have to wait. What is it? 4 more episodes or so for the mayor? Spoilers. Also, yeah, I just don't know if a mayor can get involved with a school's decision to boot out a miscreant. Is that the right word? Yeah, I don't know. So we see Buffy dropping Buffy off for her little coffee date with Will. We get to see some downtown Sunnydale. They must have gotten some more money in their budget because there's a lot more outside shoots. It's not all just on set, which is nice. It's nice to see the world fleshed out a little bit. Except for one thing, which we'll get to, which may have been filmed in the parking lot, but we'll get to that. Anyways, Buffy suggests that maybe she could do some homeschooling. Joyce says they're going to work out something. So we see Buffy sit down, and then she's just walking home. We haven't had a scene to explain anything else, but Buffy eventually just walks into her house. She meets a nice lady. Nice lady comes out of the house, introduces herself as Pat. Pat says, she's was friends with her mom through book club. They got along. This is sorry, that's not Pat. That's Pat there. Pat played by Nancy Lenehan. Guys, I had always had this feeling like Pat was this huge Karen. And rewatching this, I'm saying, was Pat all that bad? Like, she had Joyce's back, obviously. She had no reason to have Buffy's. Buffy, like, she's only going to hear things from Joyce. So, yeah, I don't understand. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older, guys. I never felt that Pat was that bad of a character at all. Anyways, when Buffy finally comes into the house, Joyce tells her that Willow called and apologizes, that she apologized for not showing up. So she got held up. All right. Whatever. And then Joyce tells Buffy that she'd like to invite Mr. Giles and the rest of the Scoobs over for dinner. Buffy doesn't seem enthused by this, but she's fine with it. Joyce said she hopes that it was okay because she already asked them. Buffy says it's going to be fun. She's told to go get the company plates, even though Buffy says the company plates aren't for like, these guys aren't company plate material for some reason. Joyce says, go get the damn plates, kid. So she goes downstairs. Downstairs to the basement. We've seen the basement a few times, guys. We're going to see the basement lots over the next few seasons, too. These company plates, for some reason, I guess, they decided to put on the top of a very high stack of shelves. I am in a very dusty basement. I would say that about. Not only dusty, well, she finally, she starts going up to get it. She has to stop. She finds that huge 8x11 professionally taken photo of her, Xander, and Willow together. I've never understood that. That was just in the shelves. Anyways, she goes back to get these plates, and somehow an old dead cat falls down. I don't know what Joyce has been doing. Like, I would imagine an old dead cat, and it looked like it was bleeding or something like that too. It didn't look like it would. It didn't look like it died of natural causes, guys. I hate to say it, but that was an unnatural death for that cat. Anyways, how did nobody notice it? Also, the smell. Anyways, whatever. They end up digging a grave for this cat. Both seemed quite fine with it. Like, neither one of them were really too shook up about this. Joyce carrying it around in a sack gets Buffy to dig a hole for it in their garden, guys. Just in the garden. Anyways, ask Buffy if she wants to say a few words. It's like Buffy gives a snarky answer. Joyce says, "Oh, stray cat who lost her way. I hope you find your way," or something. Oh, brother. But anyways, after this, you see them going to bed, and then you see the mask. Remember the calming mask? This guy here. You see Joyce asleep, and the eyes or eye holes. I guess there is not even eyes in this thing. The eye holes start glowing red. You know what, guys? That's never a good thing. I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. When a mask starts glowing red eyes, probably not the best. So Buffy here then gets another angel dream. They're at school during the day this time. She tells Angel that she's afraid, and he says that she should be for some reason. And then Buffy's alarm goes off. She sees Joyce in the kitchen. The school superintendent, she says, seems easier to deal with than that nasty, horrid, bigoted rodent man. Everybody has a pretty good, everyone feels pretty well about Principal Snyder, it seems. So she says she's meeting him later on. And then she tells Buffy that an all-girls school is accepting late admissions. Buffy, I think a little unwarrantedly, gets pissed off at her mom here. Joyce essentially tells her that, she F-O'd, you know what I meant. And it's, but not everything's settled yet. She wishes that she made provision. They all made provisions for Buffy, seeing how she's a superhero and all, which she is, guys. She opens the door to take the trash out. Oh, and a recently deceased cat comes strolling in. Oh, they knew it was that cat right away. Was beyond me, but yeah, they know it. So, anyways, we get to see Giles coming over with the. What is those things? Like a kennel, like a cat kennel or something like that. It says take it back to the library to figure out its origin. And notices the mask in Joyce's room somehow. Calls it striking. Somehow knows it's a Nigerian mask. You'd figure if he knew it was Nigerian, what it actually was. Anyways, Buffy wants to get to the researching part, but Giles wonders if she should stay home with her mom. Joyce says she can go with him, but she isn't actually allowed on school property anymore. But call when you know something. So that's good. Oz, who's at the library, he finds the cat interesting. Thinks they should name the cat Patches, which I 100% agree with. Well, then brings up the Buffy's dinner. and that Oz wants to know what kind of deal it is, if it's a with a shindig or a hootenanny, something, A hootenanny has hoot and then a little bit of nanny. Yeah. Guys, this episode not written great, but Cordelia also mentions that she's the dip. Everybody stops and stuff like that. Like, this wasn't a great scene. Admittedly, not a great scene here. So, Buffy had been missing for 3 months. Her mother invites these people over to have an intimate dinner to see everybody again, just like core friends. Then the 4 other Scoobies decide among themselves that no, this is going to be a party hosted at their friend's place who just got back. Not only a party, but Dingoes Ate My Baby are also going to play. Giles is the only one who's trying to be reasonable here or whatever, but he gets outvoted 4-1, and he's like, well, fine. He just wants things to go back to normal anyways. He starts leafing through his book, not noticing a picture of that mask once again, as he just scrolls by it, as, Giles is so want to do, just not pay attention to any of his books, I guess. So, it's supper time at the Summers. Buffy has zhuzhed herself up a little bit of zhuzhing. Doorbell rings. But Pat walks in. Good old Pat. She tells Buffy that she hopes she's not having any more flights of fancy. Okay, that's not a great thing to say. That's admittedly not great. Joyce did invite her. But Pat brought some of those empanadas from her empanada class, which is a thoughtful thing to bring. No one ever says no to an empanada. Buffy calls her mom down. And the next doorbell to ring is Devin, lead singer of the Dingoes. She asks Buffy where they should be setting up. She is puzzled by this. But from there, it's Summers Slam 98, guys. It's a big blow-up party at the Summers place. One thing I have to say about Dingoes Ate My Baby. Seth Green, I think I've said this before. Seth Green is the worst guitar mimicker of all time. I think he knows what chords look like. I don't think he knows what the rhythm is, or that the band's actually playing power chords. But yeah, he knows the G or D. That's good. But whatever. Anyways, Buffy's house is now packed with people that she doesn't know. She tries to talk to Willow. Willow is fine hearing her for 1 second, and then all of a sudden can't hear her the next. So whatever. She says that finally they go off to their own spot or whatever. She says that the party is great, but she just wanted to hang out with them. The song that the Dingoes are singing, has a line that's just "I won't die." Everything is a little on the nose with these guys. Anyways, she feels that Willow's been avoiding her a little bit. Sorry, Buffy has, and she wanted some one-on-one time with her. Willow says that that they're cool, but I don't think Buffy buys that at all. Meanwhile, we see the mask glowing again. This time reanimating a guy who was just run over, I guess. He looks like he's been gone a while. But he's there, sirens are going and stuff like that. He's on the pavement. Eyes start glowing red as he rises, guys. Oh my gosh. Xander and Cordy now making out in the middle of the party. Remember, these guys were all about the broom closets forever. And now just make out right in the middle of the Summers residence. Buffy looks like she wants to head out for some reason, but Xander asks her what's up and stuff. So she says it looks like a lot of people are glad to have her back. Then she asks about Giles. Xander says he was at the library, but what are you gonna do? He mentions also that he's glad to have the Buffster back. Everything seems good with Xander, right? Everything seems good. And Cordy even agrees, but she says she was getting turned on by the whole Nighthawk persona. Oh my gosh. Which obviously makes Buffy feel uncomfortable. I think it makes everybody have a little bit of discomfort. Now, the mask keeps doing a thing now. There's like for the second episode in a row, like a Freddy Krueger looking guy, except this guy was actually burnt. Doctor says, oh, he isn't going to make it. We're going to call it. But, his eyes glow. This guy opens his eyes, reanimated, and then you see from one of the heartbeat monitors or whatever they're called. No, they're called. Not a doctor. Guy's not a doctor. You get to see the whole neck snap thing. The neck snap thing, popular in not only this show, but especially this episode. We go back to the party. A bunch of slobs at this party. This party was chaperoned too. There are 2 adults there, but somehow, and also, I don't know about you guys, but whenever there's a house party, it usually ends up a bunch of people in the kitchen. The only people in the kitchen right now are Joyce and Pat. But there's even kids smoking inside. And one thing they've mentioned on the show a few times, they're not fans of smokers, but they're letting just some stoner kids smoke inside. Anyways, Joyce and Pat in the kitchen, enjoying schnapps. Now, probably not like the Swedish version of schnapps. This is probably just like peppermint schnapps or something like that, which, guys, there isn't much to it, but, it's going to get Joyce a little riled up here in a little bit. Anyways, and the other thing, Pat's just kind of minding her business, and then finally asks Joyce how she's doing. Again, what? There's nothing wrong with what she did this entire episode. And guys, I'm pretty bad at looking at comments anyway. So I'm gonna see what this one says. Let's see. Oh, Adelia's saying, I don't look 26. How dare you? How unbelievably dare you? Like 29 or something like that, I guess. I get it. Like 28, 29. So anyways, Buffy overhears her mom talking about how her, out of context, of course, though, and not really out of context. Joyce says some stupid stuff here. She says how she's ever since she thought that Buffy would be coming back, she just wanted to hold Buffy and hug her and stuff like that. And she says, then this is the part that Buffy hears, says, but ever since Buffy's been back, it feels like things have maybe even gotten worse. Isn't that a kick to the teeth? If you're young Buffy Summers, oh my God. So anyways, she'll do what any responsible 17-year-old girl would do. And that's prepare to run away again, because everything worked out great the last time. And it's also way easier than dealing with your own problems, if you know what I mean. And then while she's doing that, we see all of Sunnydale starting to become like a thriller video. Guys, the dead have risen. They're walking. I bet you can guess where they're walking to. But anyways, over at the library, Giles is hanging out with that cat that smells like brie, according to Cordelia. When I guess he has reread that book he was skimming over before for some reason. I have no idea why he would do that. He missed it before, but anyways, because now he's found the mask. He gets Eureka and then has to even do a couple pages to find it. Yeah, I don't understand that one at all. So he calls Buffy's place, and those 2 stoners again by the phone, and eventually answer it. This is 1998, guys. Do you honestly think there's only one phone in that house? Buffy's in her room. Joyce and Pat are in the kitchen. Nobody else picks up the phone but these 2 stoners. What are they doing answering the phone anyways? Anyway, Buffy, or Giles asks her, Buffy, he says buddy, and then asks for Bunny. Says there's nobody Bunny here. He says you got the wrong number, Mr. Belvedere, which I quite enjoyed. Guys, if you don't know what Mr. Belvedere is, what can I tell you? I can't help you guys with that. You just have to do it yourself, anyways. And also, he's calling out party fouls while he's on the phone too, which I appreciate. I don't mind that at all. Anyways, Buffy's still packing, taking her a while. She's got a little more time to do it, I guess, this time. But she didn't even close her door. For goodness sakes. Willow walks in. Willow starts giving her crap. Now, the next 10, 15 minutes of the show is just everybody beating the hell out of Buffy. Which I don't like. But this, all this is easy enough. If Buffy just would have said, like, guys, when I was dealing with the stuff with Angel, you guys put his soul back into him, but it was too late. By this time, the mouth was open. Had to kill him. Otherwise, everyone's dead. So that's what I've had to deal with the last 3 months. I had to deal with the fact that I had to kill my true love or whatever to save all of you. And I guess it was, for a 17-year-old girl, maybe a tough thing to go through. Nobody seems to appreciate that. Everybody's pretty much just thinking about themselves here. And I say everybody, maybe not Giles, but Giles never really talks about it. Anyways, Willow saying that Buffy was, tells her that they were doing fine without her. Willow's saying about how they were doing the best they could because they didn't have a choice. Buffy keeps apologizing for this, by the way. She says she wouldn't go understand what you went through, but she doesn't mention it. All it would take, especially to Willow, just say what you have to say. You don't think anybody, if anybody would understand, it would be Willow, right? Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, so Willow starts going about what she was going through. Like, she was dating. She had serious dating with a werewolf, she was saying. And she was going through witchcraft, which is fun, guys, because we're going to see more of that, obviously. They were doing some vampire slaying. And she said she had no one to talk to about it and stuff like that. Well, you had Oz. If not Oz, you had Xander. Xander's supposed to be your best friend as well, right? And I guess. Anyways, whatever. We see Giles motoring along in the Giles mobile. He starts to mock Joyce about having the mask in her room or whatever, saying, "Isn't it pretty? It raises the dead." And blames Americans for it, which I also agree with. Take that, guys. Anyways, he blames them en masse. In fact, he's so busy mocking Joyce, he doesn't notice that a man has walked in front of his car, and now he runs over a man and kills him. But good news, guys. It's not a man, it's a zombie, which I guess is bad news as well. It grabs him, and then we get to see a few more start meandering over. None of these guys are in a hurry, not yet. So we go back to Buffy, and she's telling Willow about she had no idea how much she missed everybody. Willow says it doesn't make any better that you didn't try to contact them and stuff like that. Then we get a half-loaded Joyce will walk up asking, is this what is this? Is this a joke? Willow immediately narcs on her. Like, what? Joyce, there's code here. What was breaking code? Joyce tells her to explain herself, and that she can't take off when she pleases. Buffy says she doesn't know what she's doing and walks out very dramatically. Oh. This is some of my least favorite scenes in all of Buffy here, guys. So she goes out of her room. Willow and Joyce follow her downstairs. She tells Buffy she can't leave. And this is in front of everybody. Every kid's worst nightmare is getting in shit in front of not only your friends, but like your entire school or entire school that will fit to your house, I guess. So they're going to have a talk. All of a sudden, the party is quite silent. I guess they picked a time when dingoes were, enjoying a malt beverage. I think Anna said earlier in the episode is the things they do with these kind of things. So, Buffy put Joyce through the ringer. Buffy keeps trying to stop her from doing it in front of everybody, but she wants Buffy to feel bad because she had months of not knowing whether she was dead or living it up. Yeah, Buffy reminds her that she was kicked out. That was true. Joyce says, "You never gave me time." Like, all of this, according to them, is Buffy's fault. Not one person besides Buffy who has apologized to everybody, by the way. She's apologized to everyone. Not one other person is taking fault for this. Everybody just lays it on Buffy's feet. Yeah, and that, Joyce goes on about how Buffy punished her by running away. Buffy says, "I didn't do it to punish you." And then Willow starts to say something, but Xander butts in, tells her, "Well, you did. You did punish your mother. You should have seen what she went through." Like Xander, whatever. He's backing Joyce. Buffy asks if anyone else wants to weigh in, and then says, "How about you by the dip?" Cut to Jonathan, saying he's good. Still, they haven't. I don't think that anyone has said his name for a while. I don't know if anyone's ever said his name in the show yet. His name is listed as Jonathan in the credits, but yeah, I don't know if anyone's actually. Yeah, they must. Maybe they did. They just. They must have. They must have in the fish episode. Anyways, yeah. Xander then calls Buffy selfish and stupid for running off. And then Buffy admits that too. It's like everybody just keeps pounding on Buffy here. She's just taking it too. Like, unbelievable. And yeah, again, she says that no one knows what she was going through. She had to deal with it herself. Xander then says, "Oh, look how that turned out." Says, "If you bury stuff, Buffy, it'll come right back up to get you." Wink. You know what I mean? Zombies. Of course, we go now, cut back to Giles. The living dead have managed, but he's managed to get to his car. Of course, his keys have fallen out of his pocket, though. They're on the street. Of course. But don't forget, he was Ripper back in his day, so shouldn't be any problem to Hotwire's car. Shouldn't be any problem to, Hotwire's car with A, his bare hands, B, pulling apart the wires, C, stripping them so that they're bare. All while not looking at it. Pretty remarkable stuff. He says it's like riding a bike. He's like, "Oh my goodness. Yeah, must be gone in 60 seconds. 60 seconds material." Anyways, so he starts going, gets the car going. It starts moving very slowly. And it seems very carefully, because I'm pretty sure they were just doing this in a small parking lot. The zombies kind of easily get out of the way and move slowly towards the car. So there you go. It was quite gentle, actually. He did it pretty gently. Now we go back to the party. Buffy's starting to finally push back at Xander, saying she couldn't have gone to him because she knows what Xander thought of her and Angel, and then Xander starts going on her, whatever, and saying that most girls don't hop a Greyhound bus to get over boy troubles. And I would say, I don't think she'd be the only one. I'm pretty sure at that time there was probably more than one that those kind of things because of boy troubles. But, that's just me thinking back to 1988. I didn't do it, guys. Don't worry about that. Cordy seems to have Buffy's back, though. She tells Xander to put himself in Buffy's shoes because she's a freak. She'll have a freak boyfriend, and that the killing spree she would feel that's her fault. So Buffy tells her to get out of her shoes, which is nice. Then Willow starts saying something. Buffy just looks at her like, "Yeah, I can't take this crap from you too," even though she was the one who started this. You know what I mean? Xander yells at Buffy to let her finish because she owes her that. Owes her what? If I remember right, Buffy saved Willow's life the first day they met. she was going to go get ice cream with El DeBarge or whatever his name is. So, anyways, she says he'll stop. She tells him to, stop acting like an idiot on someone else's behalf. Maybe act like an idiot on his own behalf. He says he'll stop acting like an idiot. She stops acting like an idiot. So whatever. Yeah. Again, Marty Noxon wrote good episodes up to this point. It's just this is an outlier, guys. Again, none of this fighting's earned. None of it has consequences because it's not like they keep bringing it up. And it's about to get worse a little bit. So, anyways, yeah, Buffy again questions, makes fun of Xander for being called Nighthawk. Oz then jumps in or whatever. He says, like, he wants to be the referee here. Willow doesn't want him to. Says since talking doesn't help, maybe they should try violence, which is when a very agile and especially comparatively speedy zombie busts through the window. Again, gets followed by a couple more. First guy through the window snaps that poor stoner guy's neck. R.I.P. More zombies start arriving. Xander throws one out the window. Then the Freddy guy comes into the kitchen through the window there. Buffy throws Xander a fire poker, tells him to get to the kitchen. Xander says, immediately, I got your back. It's like all this stuff is just dropped. All right. Yeah. Unearned. Anyways, Joyce then watches as Buffy fights that first zombie. Then busts an ineffective vase. Starts trashing her place. Guys, I go back to saying that Joyce was probably a counterfeiter. Because I don't know how much insurance is going to pay for that large picture window, the kitchen window, eventually the bedroom window. Never mind all the vases and everything else that are going to get smashed in this place. Yeah, Joyce asks Buffy if this thing is a vampire or not. Buffy says she doesn't know. It's like, what? How do you not know? Anyways, so she grabs a stake. She stakes him. Doesn't dust. There's not a vampire. And so we flip over to the kitchen. Xander and Cordy are holed up there. Pat's watching this all happen. And then she gets grabbed. All right. She gets grabbed by Freddy Krueger guy. Joyce is hitting that first zombie again with something. I don't know what. It almost looks like a club or maybe a log, like a fire log or something like that. I'm not sure. I just enjoy that Jonathan's holding a bass guitar at the ready. Very nice. Oz and Devin then help to grab that first zombie. They put it out through the one door. Buffy says that they need to barricade it, despite the fact that there's a large opening in their former picture window. Okay, but you've got to barricade that door down. So Cordy is then sent to go help Buffy by Xander. A zombie then punches through that paper thin door. I said about the construction of this house, and that Joyce easily just puts a huge hole in her own wall trying to hang the mask up. That wall must be like this thin, guys. It is nothing. It's nothing. It's like it's made out of wet cardboard or something like that. It's terrible. Buffy, Joyce, and Willow now start heading upstairs. Somehow Pat's just in the hallway there upstairs. They grab her. She's stirring, by the way, guys. She's helping walk into the bedroom. Okay. They just decide, we'll just dump her on this chair. All right. They go back to check on her moments later and find out, she's dead. She's dead? Dead from what? She was literally alive a second ago. Guys, and this is part of the laws of the show. Zombies don't eat human flesh, remember? So I don't know, it couldn't be from a zombie bite. All these dead zombies are ones that risen from the dead by that mask. Anyways, zombies trying to get in. Buffy and Xander are holding it off, but then Xander's sent flying somehow, knocking the mask off the wall. Now they have all four of the Scoobs and Joyce trying to keep the first zombie at bay, but Pat realives herself calmly now. Starts going towards the mask. First off, though, we see Oz and Cordy reemerge from where they had run off to with ski poles. Then we get Giles finally getting to show up, saying Oz says that the dead man's party has moved upstairs. It's like, I'm just forcing. Yes, it's an Oingo Boingo song, guys, but just forcing dead man's party has moved upstairs. Ugh, gross. Giles then tells them that the zombies are after a mask in Joyce's bedroom, and that it holds the power of a zombie demon. Gotta be the worst, right? Not only a demon, but a zombie as well. Now, the mask, it turns out, isn't just mask. It's Ovu Mobani, which means the evil eye. Oof. Well, we'll get to know why in a second. Also, and then if zombie actually puts this thing on, that it becomes the demon incarnate, which is like the king of the zombies or something like that. Cordy says it's worse than a zombie. So yeah, it's worse than a zombie. The single zombie now just in the room. Joyce sees Pat just walking around. She's elated. Her friend is alive. She gets thrown away. And Pat just, throws her over the bed. She lands beside Xander, who's also been cowering behind the bed now. Pat puts the mask on, guys. Get a cool kind of effect where it attaches to her head. And then Xander, the one zombie starts freaking out in fear. And Xander says, well, usually when something scary starts scared by something else, it isn't very good. Now, this mask is the power of a flash of light that temporarily seems immobilizes people. I didn't get it. Anyways, Buffy then gets flashed herself and gets decked. Well, Willow does too, even though Buffy tells her not to look at the thing. Guys, when someone tells you not to look at it, maybe you shouldn't look at it. Anyways, Willow does. She gets zapped. She gets grabbed, but Buffy actually tackles Pat. Now, I'm guessing, and this is something that isn't explained, but I guess this zombie mask can only flash one person at a time because something's going to happen here in a second. It's going to back up my point. At least I hope so. Anyways, this is where that upstairs window gets busted out too. Like so much. Oh, the insurance. Anyways, I also bust part of the porch as they both tumble down. There's Buffy and zombie Pat. Now, Oz and Cordy and Giles hear the commotion. Start turning around to get involved, but Giles gets grabbed by a zombie yet again. This one looks a little bit like Daryl Epps. You remember Daryl Epps from Some Assembly Required? Similar. Maybe it's just like that striped kind of rugby shirt. Maybe, maybe I'm a little off base by that, but I thought it kind of looked like him. Anyways, back upstairs. Joyce is baseball batting the zombies. So I guess she had a baseball bat in her room, which is good. That's some good security there. We got a flash over to the lawn. Buffy's fighting while covering her eyes. Guys, she can do this. We know that she can fight. Blinded if she needs to. Now, Giles to start and fight that not Daryl guy off. He tells Buffy that attacking the eyes, or he tells Oz to tell Buffy that attacking the eyes will defeat the demon. But Buffy, we go flashback outside. Buffy gets frozen again. I guess she didn't, she didn't follow her own, rules and stuff like that. Oz shows up to tell her. He gets flashed and immediately makes Buffy okay, who is standing right by that shovel. She had to bury that poor unalived and now undead kitty with. She says, "Hey, Pat." The zombie looks over. She throws it right between the eyes, like Cyclops kind of thing. It says, "Made you look," and it disappears. As do all the other zombies, guys. Oh, thank goodness. And then we go back in the house. Everyone starts to regroup again here now. it seems everyone has made up, guys. Never mind the 20 minutes of hell that Buffy went through. Never mind the absolute shambles that house is in. Never mind that not only didn't, he may not have been a great guy, but he was still an innocent school kid or something like that. Was murdered in their living room, as was it seems Joyce's only friend. So, guys, and if you think any of this is going to get brought up again, there's even a memorial for Pat. There is not. I don't think it ever gets mentioned again. So there you go. Anyways, Buffy tells Joyce's mom asks if this is what a typical day for her is. Buffy says, "Nah, this is nothing compared to her usual hijinks." Xander says, "Nice moves." And you too, nice moves. Willow and Buffy just hug out there. Giles just takes it in. Then we cut. It looks like I'm reminding everyone, or Adelia's reminding me, thanks to me, that I don't look 26. Yeah, I get it. All right. Okay. We get to see Principal Snyder at the school. Giles stopping in for a word. Snyder tells him that he has, if the word is Buffy, and he has 2 words for him, which is get lost. And then he says that he has to go. He has a meeting with the mayor. Giles tells her he can't keep her out. She's an underage girl and deserves a public education. Snyder disagrees. So he says, that he can take it up with the city council. Joyce said no. He's going to start with the state Supreme Court. And then says, you may be powerful locally. As a school principal, you may be powerful locally, but he can make Snyder's life very difficult, he says. Professionally, he said, speaking of whatever. Snyder isn't very convinced, though. That's when Giles gets a little physical here. He's still an employee of this guy, right? Anyways, he asks if he'd like to be convinced. She says, this is a set of Giles we like. This is a Giles we should see more often. Anyways, we go back to that parking lot-esque kind of downtown. We see Buffy and Willow now enjoying coffee together. Willow starts explaining that she isn't a witch yet, but she's been practicing some blessings and glamours, and that it could be pretty scary. She says it feels like getting your entire insides ripped apart, which is not great, I would imagine. Buffy apologizes, guys, yet again. She apologizes again for not being there for her. Somehow now Willow finally understands and forgives her. Oh, that's nice. Buffy calls her out for being morally superior. Willow says it's like a drug, moral superiority. I don't know how she can. And so Willow then says she'll stop giving her a hard time. And then calls her a runaway and quitter. And they each start insulting each other. This is something that, again, this is something that they never really did before. They don't really do after that. So again, there's a lot of unearned stuff in this episode. A lot of inconsequential fighting between the Scoobies, between Buffy and her mother. There's deaths in their house and nothing happens. But anyways, guys. Yes, that was an episode. No, not one of my favorites. If anybody out there liked Dead Man's Party, good, great. I hope that you guys did like it, actually. I don't like that I wasn't a fan of it. But one thing I do know is I'm a big fan of our next episode, Faith, Hope, and Trick, guys. Ooh, another Slayer's coming to town. I think this one might stick around for a little bit. And I'm sure her and Buffy are going to be best friends forever, just like Kendra. Guys, thank you for joining me on Rewatchers Council. Next week, Adelia's still, living it up wherever she is, trying to find Ferris, or, not. whatever she wants to do. I'm going to have Brendan Marr in with me to talk Faith, Hope, and Trick. I'm excited to talk with him about it. What else is happening on this entertainment channel? For me, anyways. Let's see what's going on here. I got really got nothing. I got nothing going on the channel quite right now. Over on the highlights, I got the starting 11. That's the show I do with Adelia, but except for it won't be done with Adelia this week. It should be done with. Hopefully, Ferris will be able to call in from wherever he's been in prison. We'll be talking about the English Premier League, and then we'll be talking, I think that's week 6. Is it week 6 coming up? Something like that. That's just motoring along. Chelsea doing so well. So excited. And I know Adelia and Ferris are very excited about Chelsea too. They keep going on about how much they love Chelsea and they wish everything could be more like Chelsea Football Club, and I don't blame them. Let's see what else. Oh, sorry, LGRN After Snark. I think we might be doing an episode this week. Well, it's a show I do weekends with Danny. I'll have to make sure that I talk with him and nail some plans out for it. But I believe we're doing a show this weekend. Also on the highlights, Playoff Beards show I do with our buddy Ryan. Now, we're going to be doing a season preview for the NHL season 2024-25. That'll be next Wednesday. So not this coming. So I guess, yeah, this coming Wednesday, you'll be able to see us talk about the NHL. You get to see me either complain or cry about the Winnipeg Jets, as I'm wont to do. I don't know what he's going to say about the New York Islanders. That's going to be an interesting thing. But guys, also, there's tons of things going on the channel. Agatha all along. Post-credit shows have been dropping, and I'm a big fan. Well, not only a big fan of everybody on the post-credits, big fan of that show. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been great. They've also been talking about the Penguin show that I'm surprised that I liked so much. I like it better than that Batman movie. And what else? I think Justin's going to have a movie review coming up very soon for, I guess, I don't know, a remake of a movie that scared the living hell out of me when I was a kid. But stay tuned. Stay tuned to all the, what is it, the social medias for that kind of stuff leading up, because obviously I'm not great at remembering that stuff. I think it's a Let's Get Ready Network at Let's Get Ready Network on Twitter. But again, guys, I'm not the best with it. If you found this, I think there's probably something in the comments or whatever you can click onto to find all our stuff. Like and subscribe, all those good things. It really helps out the channel. Guys, it has been my pleasure talking about this show for as, for what it is or whatever. It's just nice. It's cathartic. It was cathartic getting this all out. And I can't believe I talked about it for over an hour. That's what you get. I just keep rambling, for God's sakes. Could you imagine my poor wife? Anyways, thanks, everybody. Until next week. Bye-bye.